Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Faith Chats, where our conversation is always about faith, family, freedom, and America. I'm your host, Andrew Burnett, and today, my special guest. If you love music videos, man, I tell you what, this is the creative genius behind most of the CCM music videos. Make welcome my friend Stephen Yake. Stephen, how are you doing?
I'm good. Enjoying this Florida weather.
So, share with us a little bit about where video directing really came into the picture for you.
Well, I started a TV show called The Gospel Bill Show for Willie George way back in the day. And we started doing little kids' music videos with a guy named Nicodemus on the show. And for every single show, I'd make a music video. And turned out to be a lot of fun. We'd make little storylines for children, and then that led to another show that I created called Fire by Night. And that was a big hit with youth. And I started doing the same thing with that show and, working with Michael W. Smith and Rick Kua and all these different artists. And that kind of opened the door for me to record labels calling me saying, hey, we'd like you to listen to this song and we have a budget for this. And would you be willing to do this? And, one thing led after another. And then I did Sandy Patty and Wayne Watson, and then I got a phone from this guy named Carmen, phone call, and he said, I got this new record called Revival in the Land coming out. Would you really like to do a bunch of videos for me? I said, let me think about it. Yes. And so, that kind of opened up the door in a big way, which I believe God led my steps to that because, as you know, Carmen, I've done all his videos over the years now, and unfortunately, he's in heaven, but it's not unfortunately for us, but not him. He's up there writing music and directing the choir,
so
as
where
I
did
see.
your so where did your taste for Christian music really come into the picture for you?
Well, I went to Evangel College in Springfield, Missouri, and I studied in communications, and I worked in the radio station there. That was one of my electives, and I really enjoyed playing Christian music. And I would, that's what we played on the radio station there. And then I got a job with a radio station that was more AOR, album oriented rock. And that was, but what the thing is, they didn't have a playlist at this station. So I could bring whatever I wanted to play on the air. So, I would play Re- Resurrection Band and Phil Keaggy in between Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd, which, they could care less because they weren't listening to it. But
Right.
I got a lot of phone calls of people going, "That's a great band. Who are they?" DeGarmo and Key, and, Petra. So it was kind of a ministry for me because these people were tuning in for all their favorite secular bands, and they were hearing all these Christian bands. So then I kind of realized, this is really a tool that can be used to reach people. So I
So who
just,
would you so who would you say was your favorite long-haired Christian rock band to play in the day?
well, by far is Petra, and number two behind that would be DeGarmo and Key. I mean, I thought they were such a tight band. Eddie DeGarmo is an awesome keyboardist, and then Dana Key, and he sounds just like the Dusty Hill or the guitar player from ZZ Top. He just that same style, and just he was great. So those guys were the my favorites.
So at what point would you say was a memorable music video experience for you?
Probably the most memorable would be Secret Ambition by Michael W. Smith, because I wrote this treatment up, and everyone I showed it to, they said, "You're nuts. You're not going to pull that off." It's not going to be believable. So I think I can do it believable. Watch. And the great part is that Michael W. Smith didn't even question me about it. He said, I'll come do it. It was a free video for him. So we flew him out to Western Oklahoma and shot his parts on just a little airplane. And then we flew him back to Tulsa for him to fly home back to Nashville. And then I shot all the crucifixion stuff that, we used a theater in Arkansas that actually did like the Passion Play and all their actors and all that. And it really turned out very cool. And Tom Newman, who was a part of Toymaker's Dream back in the day, he played the Jesus character and did a great job. So at the, when I was done with it, people would look at me and go, "Wow, you pulled it off." I said, "Well, if I couldn't have, I wouldn't have done it."
So, we all have a saying that says, if I knew then what I knew now, maybe there's somebody watching and they really want to get into creating music videos. What's a challenge that you faced that if you only knew then what you knew now?
Well, I was just talking to my DP earlier today, the director of photography, and he still lives in Nashville. And he said music videos have just dried up. I mean, so when I get no record labels are really spending money on them. I mean, all of them are just doing graphic videos and that type of thing. But I still get calls. Like I got a call this week from a independent artist that wants to do 4 music videos, and so she's got a pretty good budget. But I would say to put all your eggs in one basket's not a good thing. I mean, I kind of spread out a little bit with TV and commercials, but I still did music videos when they called. But that helped expand my creative uh, bone, I guess, because and I brought a lot of those techniques to what I did in other areas.
So, what would have been your favorite Christian music video that you worked on?
Well, once again, it would have been Secret Ambition. That was, I've seen and heard so many testimonies about people whose lives were changed by that video. Because I mean, I created that video as just watch this, and at the end of the video, do you want to pray? Someone could just show it to somebody and say, "Would you like to ask Jesus in your heart right now?" And that's how I created it, so people could use it as a witnessing tool. But Tom Newman, in his Toy Maker's Dream play, he did a tour of the Soviet Union. It was called the Soviet Union back then, and he got on one of their Good Morning Russia shows or whatever, and he played the video, and their switchboard had never lit up like that before in the history of TV in Russia. People wanting to know more about what we just saw. So that was pretty cool to hear about that. And just youth pastors who've used it for their youth groups. And but my second other favorite would probably be Carmen, Witch's Invitation. That was like a really mini movie for me, because I'm still working on get that real movie out there. But we shot a video called Great God over in England in a castle. That was pretty cool. So, there's a lot to choose, having done 500.
And you've not only worked in Christian music, but you've also worked with country music with artists such like Brad Paisley. Share with us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we were doing a series called More Than the Music, and it was about Southern gospel and the Happy Goodness episode.
Your Your audio is breaking up really bad all of a sudden.
Let me see if I can walk closer to the house. I'm just out on the porch. Is that better?
It's getting better. Yeah. You might have to go out and come back in. Yeah, because it's still got a bad cracking noise.
Weird. Is that better?
No, it's still breaking up. You might have to go out and come back in.
Turn my TV off.
A couple of days ago.
Okay, how's that?
Uh, it's still breaking up. You might want to try to leave the link and then come back in.
Actual computer is.
Yeah, it's breaking up really bad. Try going out of the link and then come back in. Yeah, because we can't hear you at all now. No. Try going out of the link and then come back in. It should work that way. No. Steven, just go out of the link that I sent you and then come back in. Because otherwise, I don't know what's wrong with it. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with it. It's not working. And the sound quality is really terrible. No, sir. I tell you what. End the stream. I'm going to end the stream and then I'll send you another link. Give me just a second. All right, give me just a second here and I'll send you a new link.